5 things that you're going to have to learn to be a successful international exporting manufacturer, a global company. And the first one of that is distributor mindshare is everything. This is what's going to keep you either sinking or floating and thriving. You need to have the best possible distributor mindshare with the best possible distributors in the correct markets. Nothing else is anywhere near as important. So if you're even remotely thinking about the day when you can screw over your distributors, or you're thinking about shifting to direct, or you're thinking about splitting your markets, anything that you do that is going to hurt your distributor mindshare is going to hurt your whole global expansion. That's the number one thing you have to internalize. You have to wake up in the morning and go to sleep at night thinking about distributor mindshare. That's number one. Second thing that you're going to have to learn is true empathy. And empathy means understanding from the perspective of your customers. Now, you might be dealing with 70 or 100 different cultures by the end of this project. So that empathy is very difficult. And I've seen this time and time again, where people are basically saying, well, I would like to have somebody answer my phone quickly, so I'm sure they would like to. It's very important to them. And those type of things. Don't think about what's important to you. Think about what is important to your end user in that culture, and try and keep your mind as open as possible, because this can be very difficult. And I use, for instance, the time concept, because very often our thought is, well, this is the way, to show respect for somebody, I want to show him that I'm on top of things. I'm pushing and calling him on a constant basis. And he might consider that very, very rude. Learning empathy is going to be key to the success of this. Now, you might not be able to learn empathy. Very possibly. And empathy, the way I mean it, not that you are going to get along with a puppy or something. I mean, can you empathize and get along and get into the mindset of your customers in Brazil and Nigeria and Latvia and Japan equally, so that you can sell? And if you can't do that, you have to outsource that. You have to get that into the hands of somebody who can do it. Okay? You're going to have to learn the mechanics of trade. And by this I mean getting your product from your factory to the end user and getting the money from the end user to your factory. This is something that is the difference between it being profitable and it not being profitable. Okay? A small mess up with shipping or one mistake with a letter of credit could cost you all the profitability of your whole year's work. Right? So understanding the mechanics of trade is key to the profitability and the success of this whole thing. What I call cross-cultural selling. Getting to understand how different people establish relationships and internalize information is key, because not only does not everybody do it the same way, every culture does that differently. And I can tell you that, for instance, Chile and Guatemala do it differently. Okay? Denmark and Italy do it differently. So you can't even say all Europeans do it one way, or all Asians or all Africans. And you have to understand, you don't have to know how everybody works. You just have to understand the concept, and you have to know where to go to get that information. Every time I deal with a country, I always go and I check and I read up on that culture again with a couple of sources that I work with that give me the information anthropologically about how that culture builds relationships and internalizes data. And then the other thing that can really screw you up or make this profitable is understanding travel and communications. Because your travel budget and your sales team's travel budget very often in the first year or two could be more than your overall profit, could be more than your top line sales. So the more you can control that, and the better you can get your communications and your travel and make sure you're where you have to be when you have to be, the more profitable you're going to be. These are the things you need to know to be a successful company, going from manufacturing and doing a little bit of selling to being really a global player and a global market leader as a manufacturer in America.